Yes, I know. I was writing up a thing while I was basically making a note of all the mysteries that were in the pocket mysteries. I think there's like 18, 19 of them, and I was trying to make a quick list before I started the stream, but the stream time hit me, and so I was like, well, I'm gonna do this or I'm not. Either way, I mean, it's not like it really means anything, but we are gonna sit here and watch this rabbit, technically rabbit, but you can also call it a bunny. It's less informal, apparently, but yeah, we'll just get into it. So we'll set random backstories just for fun. For now, we'll set item stats off, and then we'll move on. We don't have any perk packs we're working with, so we're working with what we've got. And we'll go from left to right, just for fun. So as we get to Cthulhu Knight Errant character exclusive Bunneh, yeah, hopefully nothing crashes. I didn't even test the character out extensively, so I don't have status effects. We're just gonna, it's just the graphic. I could have even just done low stamina and or reason, but I didn't do that either because I was doing other stuff. So second encounter, strength, charisma, Takshisan knowledge, and maybe second mystery. And I hope everyone's been well for the past 24 hours because boy, I got a lot less done than I thought. Also, we're gonna, nah, we don't do that. Because we have every custom mystery in the pack, we're probably not going to get a base mystery, although it is still possible because the game can sometimes put 2 custom mysteries in 2 to 3 mysteries, and therefore you have an open base mystery slot. So here we are. So thank you for the good luck. Hey to everyone in chat. And Zektas is going to be fun with these stats. Yeah, I've kind of figured that. I kind of want to slowly tweak the stats even lower, but that would be a bit much. But that being said, well, I would be mainly at a disadvantage as I get into Hobo here. But the thought is that even with all my stats dropping from 4 on Harbinger at least, I can still survive if I make it to the end under 84% Doom. Theoretically speaking, you get what I mean. If you don't get what I mean, to explain, every 21% Doom on Zektas, your stats decrease by 1. Therefore, if I cannot, well, either 1, hit level 5 and increase every stat by 1, or 2, get lucky, then lowering my level threshold. Trust me, it just works that way if you don't know what I'm talking about. Or 3, I just be so Doom efficient that I get to the lighthouse and clear the game under 84% Doom, which is more than possible, but the trade-off is that you have to eat your stamina and add reason instead of Doom, if you know. But anywho, you recall this mystery from a while ago, not last stream. I did it, couldn't check. Yeah, so I don't think I did. Did I do this? I don't feel like I got this mystery. Again, there are about 19. Let me check now, because now I'm feeling anxious. 19 mysteries, I believe, in this mod pack. All on ending A, but for better or worse, that may be for the better. Where am I going? I'm just gonna set Seaside and just forget about it. And we'll do that. And yes, some of the things that are noted made by this modder do have references here and there. Diary being one of them from off the top of my head, but you get what I mean from here. Also, note that yes, when I grab a weapon, actually it might be a lot harder to clear Zektas because I usually want to grab a weapon. So that is another thing. Any guide for decent mods and how to install? I love to make mysteries as well, but you don't know how. So, again, for most people who really want to bite their teeth in, I really recommend visiting if you are a part of the World of Horror Discord channel, search Haspen Almanac or somewhere. It's probably, it's pinned, I think it's pinned on the channel. Now I'm anxious about that too. Let me go check that, just in case, because I know a lot of things were pinned. Once I was mentioned at a pin in the server, so let me just check that really quickly. I might as well. This will be a good check. I think in the Modding Talk channel, nope. Just search. Let me just make sure it makes sense. So, oops, I don't mean to chat in the channel. So, as soon as you search for Haspen, just do the from user. You should find the only user that has that name. And then search Almanac, Almanach. And yeah, you'll see more than a few posts about how to what the custom content what custom content is available, how they work, but also more importantly, how to do so. It's very, very extensive, and I highly recommend looking at it. There's a lot to go through, but little mistakes here can cause crashes, even though the design of making custom content, characters, mysteries, events is quite simple. It does ask for you to be very Your syntax needs to be correct, otherwise you cause crashes. And I think that's the best I can say. Those are the guides that you want to go through. Otherwise, again, ask and someone will probably throw a reference at it. But as we move on here, yeah, so I think that's the only real good guide. There are some bite-sized guides here and there, but I've put out a little quick installs here and there, but those are not really extensive guides compared to what we have on Discord. So yes, the official World of Horror Discord made by Panstas. So, and then again, and most of your questions would go to the hashtag modding-talk channel. Otherwise, if you can search for it yourself, that would usually help out. Again, people who usually want to look for it will find the almanac and go buy it. Otherwise, the copy pasta method, which is also recommended, is to use if you're making a mystery, copy someone's base mystery files, and then work around that. But if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty and how you can do specific things here and there, because the guide covers your how to do, but it's up to you as we get into Bloom on how you want to, on ways that you can be creative making content, basically. Mysteries you can definitely go a lot harder on, but characters and events have their own little special things you can do here and there too, if you understand the game enough. Shovel with 4 strength, by the way. That seems absolutely terrible. But the crowbar doesn't seem a lot better. So you know what? This bunny is going to use a shovel and move on. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I'll try to answer in the best of my ability. Unless I can't, then I'll just straight up say nothing. Because I wouldn't know the answer. I'll just straight up say I don't know. Did Panstas say something about the update to my knowledge? Not checking the Discord? No. I think Panstas has gone radio silent. Which is want to happen. And again, if I had to put money down, I would have been wrong on the update coming out on time. But if anything else, I mean, maybe there could just be personal things. Maybe from the worst of what people want to think in terms of just, being, sitting there and not putting out the update, to things that actually matter, like certification through console versions, because those would probably be like it. The console version is due for that, unless the console version is already updated. Someone has to let me know, because I don't have console version of. I don't have the console versions of World of Horror, so. But other than that, like actually making sure that the game is ready, could be other things. There could be just bugs or game-breaking bugs or crashes. Again, I don't know. I'm not actually. I don't know too many people personally, and even if people did know, apparently we're not. No one knows at this point. But no, the short answer is no. So, what am I gonna do here? I think strength. Kind of mad at them. It's annoying. Yeah, I can understand the sentiment from both sides. Where, as a developer, it's frustrating because when I know I can't put out an update on time, I fail to put out updates in time. It feels really bad. But at the same time, from the consumer standpoint / gamer standpoint, it is tough to be told when something's going to release and not seeing it release. But again, it's something that happens a lot frequently. Most people call it a negative. It is certainly a valid criticism, because I mean it's literally the word of people who are associated with the game, whether you're the developer, whether you're not, whether you're someone who knows about the game or whatnot from its inside workings, saying that it's coming out at this time and then it doesn't come out. And again, I failed at that before, so I know how frustrating it can be, both as a developer and as someone waiting for a game. I've been in both positions. It really, really sucks. So, but yeah, nothing else we can do. I mean, you can't really. I would not recommend, and I would never advocate for you harassing anyone involved with making any video game, really, because all that really does is just make the sentiment a lot worse. I'll equip this box cutter, by the way. And for all we know, that we've seen developers explode or implode and then just take their ball and run. So I'm not saying that any of developers like that, but we have also seen proof of that in real life. And again, that's not. I wouldn't really say that's harassment when it's actually something that, like, I'm stating facts that we've seen that happen. Also, I lose reason here. Do I die for this, by the way? I didn't expect. I succeeded this. Actually, I'm curious to see what happens if things. At least communicate it, and that's not hard. Sorry, no, ready, bye. Yeah. Again, I don't know what the inner workings are. There may not be a good reason. There may be a good reason, but the fact, well, like you just mentioned, the fact of the matter is there's not really anything being communicated. So, well, all I can do is just be like, ugh, it's as it is. I can't. No one's gonna really say anything else about it, but. In general, yes, it is not. I would assume, just on a general level, if I'm to give my own opinion, which is an opinion, that it's not a good practice to do. But like you should communicate in some form. Say it's like literally just say it's not ready, like you just said. But hey, not gonna rise any of the what's gonna happen is gonna forget the game, delete from the Steam library, and not be there. Well, yeah, I mean you do. It's up to your imperative. I cannot be. I should not be. I should not sway your actions at any point. So whatever you choose to do is what you choose to do, and I'll respect that decision. As we have strength, knowledge, light, second encounter, Takshisan, and dexterity. But either way, again, I would still be making videos on streams of World of War. It is a very fun, bite-sized game that I can just play and sit down and play and record or stream. And I can just play it, and it's fine for me. Especially at the point that I'm at now, where I have like literally a few years of World of War under my belt, so I can just sit down and be like, time to do this. So, stance on World of War. I think it's a fake, quote unquote, fake roguelike. Yeah. You mentioned that a few times. So. To be fair, even if there does, at least the game's got... Yeah, and that's the thing, right? The game is already at 1.0. There is some weight to actually at least fully releasing the game. Even if some people's criticisms are that the game is not, quote-unquote, still complete. Which, it's not... Like, you can't be blind to what people are saying when they say that, right? Like, they do... You do have to look at what they're saying and say, okay, well, they say they're basing this based on Penstaz's intentions on releasing this, and this, and some things did not, well, very minute things. Like, in general, I think the priorities were set well, it's just that some people disagree. And we know that because we can look at people's reviews on websites, so... along with stray comments here and there. Also, I don't have a weapon of any point. I am kind of autopiloting, but having force in every stat except for luck, I think my luck is at 8, is not great either. So we run. I should actually look for a weapon of some sort, though. That would help me out. So, it doesn't sound very honest. Well, yeah, I'm trying to think. It's... Again, in some ways I feel like this game is a hit and miss, but I'm not the greatest, even though, yes, I have worked on games myself in doing some sort, I'm still not the best judge in what exactly might be good for a game, well, good, or what exactly might be wrong with the game. I can bug test here and there, I can make use cases here and there, I'm taking damage, a bunch of damage from this ghost, and I can consider what both sides are trying to say, but to judge whether either or is correct or honest, it's already the case though. The base game mod list is repetitive. And that's part of the thing. That's why I was really pushing for, well, at least verbally pushing for, I don't know how many messages I've put it out, but I have said many times in videos and streams that with mods, if this game, when and if this game had mods, back when I said it, it really would fill out the other half of the game, because otherwise you're... I would like to use... I usually use something like the chess analogy, where you have a lot of moves to do with the base game still, but at the same time, I understand it gets very repetitive, because basically there's no content. The no content fallacy works here too. I call it a fallacy. It's more like a theory. Yeah, no matter the game... Always against developers just add modding support to a game and nothing else. It means that they don't give any care about it. Just leave the game to the modders. I mean, yeah, at a certain point, there is, if you can just leave, like, if the game is like well and done with, like a few years, and obviously this isn't the case, but we're just giving a case where this is the case. Developers, are finished with the game, they want to move on, and then they finally add modding support, and they just let the community have it. I think that would be one of the few good cases, but usually, yeah, there are moments where modding support is there, and I can feel it. I haven't done any modding support for a game I've worked on, but I can see how it would result in basically laziness. Let's just say it outright, laziness. There might be a better word for it, but yeah, it can lead to sloppy work here and there. Although whether it's legally okay to do, I have less knowledge about that. But anywho, as we have come to a fiery conclusion of the mystery, I think we're doing okay for now. Listen, third mystery, 29% doom. Yes, we're getting harassed by Herald, but as we take a general perk and move on, maybe. Just a great example is Dota W3 to modders and created Dota, and the mod developer dipped and created Dota 3. Yeah, again, I don't know as much about the history of most games in general, but I can still think through certain possibilities. Now, whether those are realistic or not, hey, the way they see it is just one person still, and it's still, yes. Again, I don't mention that a lot, but the developer does have a very high-profile job, one that probably became much more demanding as the worldly situation hit a few years back, or 2 to 3 years. But well, yeah, at this point, a few years back. So, like, it can be very demanding. Can we if we can agree on that on a base level? Now, how demanding exactly, who knows? But yeah. From what I know, though, yeah, I think maybe he has a team right now. I definitely know that other people work with him to make sure things go well. But again, that's what I mean by, and literally at this point, everyone can be speculating, because until we get any official statement from anyone else other than Panstaz, we don't really know what's going on. Oh, everyone including Panstaz. I don't know why I said other than Panstaz, the person who is responsible for the creation of the game. But anywho, play the game for views, haven't gotten bored, especially for a game paid. I also paid $15 for it as I die right here. Why am I doing this to myself? I should have actually used the library notes until I could have saved myself, but I am kind of just autopiloting. So yeah, in my opinion, again, I see where people see that the game can become stagnant because, oh, there's no changes. But if that's the case, again, if I had to defend that standpoint, which I do defend with, it's that literally, why do people play chess? Why do people play turn-based strategy games for so long? Because again, World of Horror is in that weird genre where those games are mainly, you're playing against another player, but that doesn't change. My defense is that this game has a lot of possibilities that you can work through, and again, that's not the most. I agree, that's not the most. For more than a few people, that's not very exciting to them, but for some people it is. So, at that point, it is player preference. Let's just state that outright too. Grant 100% that you don't know the game inside out enough to consider comment on the state of the game, but you rarely ran into weirdness. Yes, and that's the part of the thing too. Especially definitely in early access, there's some weird things here and there. There are still weird things. I can talk about the inventory bug, which I will mention at times. But as we get into Madness again, I think this is my second time in Madness, but. Yes, there were things like the inventory bug is still available. The item UI bug, where if you hover on a UI and there's this blank area here where if you accidentally hover over, the game crashes for some reason. That was something that was really, really dangerous. But aside from that, there weren't really any bad bugs. There were bugs that you essentially, and I mentioned this before, that you could work around. I just didn't know how to state it much clearly. And maybe a year or two from now, I'll be much clear in my diction as well. But as I look in the hardware shop for a weapon of, okay, fine, a shovel again. Shovel stream. But anywho, you play a lot of Isaac, but Isaac is a true roguelite, always random, so you never really get bored. Really has a lot of content. I mean, if I want to play devil's advocate to that, you can argue the same for this is without mods, by the way, for World of Horror in terms of what you start with, because how you approach a run can be made different as well. But I agree that Isaac does have a lot more. In my opinion, it has a lot more variability, and I haven't even played that game yet, so. I mean, I played a little bit from someone else's copy of the game, but yeah. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of games I wish I could play. I just never have the mostly the resources, but now currently the time. Also, I can't even prep strong with the shovel until I get. No, I can't even prep strong with the shovel. Oof. What is this? 90%? I might as well swing for the fences. I missed the 90%. What do you mean 90%? I guess I'll take 9 reason to the face. I should really not be eating this, but all I took was the shovel. What I really should have done was reroll for a better weapon, quote-unquote better weapon. No, really better weapon, but... Pain. Wait, are we dead here? No, this is stamina. Okay, good. I need to sneeze, so let me mute for a moment. And then I lost my sneeze, so never mind. But at least we do. Wait, the one thing the shovel does have is that it has a high sever damage. So, high sever damage ratio. Basic example of my point of view that you have is from Inscription. People complain the first part of the game over and over because it's the roguelike and developers should have added roguelike in. That's a common criticism I see for Inscription, where basically the first half-ish of the game before the twist, no spoilers here, but before the twist, is that there is a fun game to play, and then it slowly becomes something that people didn't, or people, more than a few people didn't like. So I can kind of, I can't sympathize, but I can see where people come from that once I knew about it because I got spoiled on it. So I'm trying not to spoil others on it as well. And yeah, people just enjoy the first part of the game, and that's that. Now, people still like the game overall, but that's why we have a game called Balatro out. So, Balatro is the new hotness in that regard. Again, and I think it's a different taste of that kind of... It's literally more a card roguelike, but... comparing that with Inscription, those who've played both games can talk about the comparisons, contrasts, and similarities better than I can, so I'll leave it at that. But from what I do know, there is merit in listening to people's opinions who may not know as much. Granted, like me, it may not be great things, but it is still important to listen to at times. Am I gonna die here, by the way? Yeah. Well, it's not criticism, really, just that the modder heard the players and just implemented the mode. Didn't know that. Also, I need to throw the flashlight here, otherwise I eat too much stamina damage. Unless we take double stamina damage due to a bug, but until that happens, let's just do this and get out. And let's move on. So yeah, again, a lot of games I wish I could at least touch here and there. And yeah, I could do the Steam thing. Some people have done a little Steam thing where you get the game and you play it, but then you return it if it's not great. And that's become kind of monetized on platforms. And now I don't know whether or not I should advocate or be mad about that, but I mean, I don't know as much, so I'm gonna say right here officially, for the sake of the robots and people, just in case you think I'm saying something I shouldn't say, I don't know as much about this subject and whether or not it's right or wrong. Definitely whether or not it's right or wrong, but basically using the Steam 2-hour limit to refund a game if it's not great and otherwise, and which has been abused before. Also, I'm sitting at 62% Doom, so this is very painful, but as I lose 4 reason for 20 experience. Yeah. Yeah, they added the mod with a few more... Alright, okay. Okay, that's for... is that for Inscription? I assume that's for Inscription, right? I'm trying to follow my train of thought while also trying to follow chat, which is something that I'm not great at either, but hey. Yeah, okay, yeah, Inscription. I should have also used the police station, but it's Yogatag is stalking me everywhere. That's why. I'm like, why is my Doom so high? Because Yogatag has not stopped stalking me since the past 3, 4, and definitely like 50% of the time. But anywho, let's put this Demon Mask on in case this damage means anything. Another fiery conclusion later, and I think this is the farthest I've gone in a run without dying so far. So, granted, again, I'm kind of half on autopilot, but again, I believe there's at least a little bit of merit to just autopiloting and seeing how far I go, just to show, hey, if for no one else than myself, it's that I can do it. But at the same time, I mean, that's why I think I still have Kulve Teroth solo attempts here and there. I also have Behemoth attempts on my channel still, I think. Now I'm curious, as I finally get to use the shovel for shovel purposes. The thing you fear from World of Warriors Pan-Stats is giving up, giving the keys, just go, you do you, ha, you do you, have fun. Which, I mean, as long as people have the keys and the ability to finally, you know, work with the game ourselves, then fine. If not, I guess we find something else to go. I'll definitely move on. That's the day when I finally also put my foot down and just start playing a game with you. Because that's something I wanted to do. I basically wanted to make a game for this channel that I could just play with you guys, but I'm the one who developed it. Because I don't know why I do something like that. But I think it's something that's, you know, can be fun to try out. Which is basically what I'm trying to do with the game I make. The quote-unquote roguelike. I'm calling it a roguelike, but I don't know how much of a roguelike. I mean, it's definitely possible in RPG Maker. Let's get that out of the way. If I end up releasing the game, or at least going a few months into the game, and it still doesn't feel like a roguelike, I have failed, alright? Although, I mean, I'm not going to put complete responsibility complete responsibility on myself if something wild happens. Also, I have to throw the steak knife, but let me see here. What do I do here? At this point, give the game to people. Sure, but I'm sure there might be some underlying issues here and there as well with that if someone were to do it. But I mean, just to have fun, sure. Headed to watch something else? Nope. Feel free, man. It's up to you, or gal, or they, or sir, or anything. But if you have to do you, you do you. Don't let me hold you back. But at the same time, well, the sad thing here is that I could try to defeat this. But I don't think I get to. Can I do... This is, I think, actually 13 damage. I'd have to throw the Demon Mask. Do I still do that much damage? I guess we're about to find out. Now I'm just committing to some science here, so hold on for a moment. That, steak knife, and this. Oh, well, it's definitely still 12, but it was 14 because I got bonus damage. But I still would have done 13 damage. But anywho. Let's actually heal Reason here. You might be able to survive. Always seen World of War called this a roguelite compared to a roguelike, which there is a particular difference when to really get into the nitty gritty, and that's something I've looked up before. Yeah, you do? Okay, good. I've made a mistake with the, I haven't been hounded for it, but I am very good at catching myself when I make mistakes, usually. But I think it's more than a few times, and I think it's a good skill to have, where I was, specifically, I think I was playing Noshia. I called it Gnosia during that, so now I feel bad, but I played Noshia. There are characters that go as they, them, so I kept calling them, I think specifically I kept calling them her, using female pronouns, and I was like, ugh, I gotta not do that. I do catch myself while I'm playing it, but at the same time, I think what's just as bad, if not worse, is me calling it Gnosia. Like, if you mispronouncing names, you shouldn't mispronounce the names of other people. Also, I'm just eating Reason here because I forgot to rest, but hey. And Noshia, I really wanted to make, well, I won't say that much because I want to... Yeah, I'll save it for when I actually get it out. I'm not one to talk until things happen. We're going to set item stats to random. Not that that really helps the shovel, usually, but hey. Like in a few exclusive... I wouldn't know that based on... I mean, yeah, I have my analytics as I get to Yogata Ignite Errant. Oh my goodness, that might be... Oh my goodness, that might even be worse. But I do have people of all sorts watching my channel. That I will say readily. Because I also want to leave people anonymous if they want to be anonymous. But knowledge, second encounter, light, Takshisan, dexterity, and maybe second mystery. Now we'll see what I do with my face. But we'll leave the hardware store because I've yet to actually pick up a weapon I like. Even though, yes, we did have the crowbar, but I think the crowbar is... Well, it is a base weapon, it's not great for Harbinger. In my opinion. I could take this point of knowledge, but what would it do for me? It would have prevent any brain damage shenanigans. That's what it would do. So let's go to Salt Shrine. I just call it a shrine, but Salt Shrine if you want to say the syllables out. And let's actually police station the seaside. I think we have at least 3 investigations here. If I'm wrong, well, I'm wrong, but... At a certain point, before Harbinger, I definitely, just a bit of lore, I definitely like using the tree for funds a lot more, but now, since Harbinger and Curses have become more dangerous, but Harbinger also came out, it became a lot more dangerous to carry certain curses. At least it feels that way. Also, I didn't visit the hardware store. Hold up. YouTube, yeah, it can, but it's very... I mean, it might as well be nearly no information. Also, yes, I should have taken that point in knowledge. What did I do? Didn't I cast? Yeah, I did cast it, so we have it. But anywho, let's buy this. 5 damage, 83 speed. That's very good. That's literally near the monkey wrench. But yeah, YouTube analytics actually tells you a lot if you ever take the time to look at them. But at the same time, it can be very vague. But at least you have at least the data is there. All right, that's what I'm trying to say. Now that would have been nice, but moving on. Thankfully, since we are Knight Errant, we do get a bunch of... We get ending A automatically with these mysteries, and the bonus is that I get the inspiring novel. That's the bonus. But anywho. Yeah, it's done for years and years, along with other things like where people are watching from, what... where they might have come from when they clicked on your video, things of that sort. But you do need a handful of audience, otherwise it doesn't tell you. Like, you need a good number of people watching a video or stream for it to say anything. This is doing -3 all, by the way. Bye. Goodness gracious. Yeah, so, again, that doesn't really... I'm sure I would never use that information for nefarious purposes, and... you would have to go through quite a lot. Basically, you would have to be deemed pretty much guilty by nature of taking the time to look through your viewers to do anything weird, but I wouldn't know how to do that, and I'm not advocating for that. That's actually something bad to do. But if you want to find out more about your audience and figure out how to make your videos and or streams better, there is a lot of information you can pick up from that, as I get writer again. I could have picked the mystery under it, but... yeah, countries don't really care about gender. No, okay, I mean, yeah, you can set your... I think you can set your gender, whether you're someone who's a content creator or someone who's a part of the audience, to whatever your preference would be, and whether or not they give. But either way, I mean, I don't want to go conspiracy theory on it, but by the time... like, if you've been on the internet at any length, if someone wants to look up your information, definitely companies like Google and whatnot, they would probably have it. Usually for the better, but sometimes weird things can happen. But again, I wouldn't know as much about that. Even though I'm someone who's kind of into technology, I do have a degree in computer science. As little as that matters for me in terms of actual real life. What do I want to say? Implementation. I use that word because of the... oh my goodness, I missed. 85%. I'm just gonna brace. But there's something else I wanted to say. I think I want to state one last, well, at least another time, that I do not advocate for doing anything bad in real life. Please follow the rules of wherever you live, because that would probably be for the best for everyone, really. So that at least you don't get into trouble. But anywho. Don't worry, just a personal thing. Yeah, identity. You don't even... yeah. So, yep. No need to go... say no more. Say no more. But... oh my goodness gracious, my face. But I rolled an 11, so it's not like having more dexterity would have helped here. I'm actually going to use the inspiring novel until maybe I get something that I can heal my stamina with. I might as well. It's my only way out. I can't absorb from nothing, so that would be nice. But hey... okay, so there's something for that. But anywho, as I try to figure out if there's a spell that will get something for me. You know, Ghostly Spirit would have been nice earlier, but it's not going to save me. And Memory Extract's not going to save me either, so bye. Goodness. Hey, as it turns out, having 4 in your stats is usually for the worst, but... anywho, we'll move on. No random item stats this time. Oh, my nose! But, as long as I have you here... actually, I chose Yogathag, so I was the reason I have Yogathag twice. But, let me see. Curious Birthmark, character exclusive attack, and I'll take a sip of my drink. it's juice, but that was more than a sip, but hey. And yeah, remember to stay hydrated. I actually need to be drinking more liquids than I already am, funny enough. But as we get into the run and we see a strength check, I definitely need to make sure that well, now I have no choice but to do Rider, but let's see if I can find anything else. I guess cicadas. And we'll move on. Again, I actually sort of survived more than a few of my runs by now, but again, I am kind of autopiloting right now at the moment, seeing how comfortable I can be. I say on Harbinger difficulty, which you really shouldn't autopilot, but I'm here doing so you can't stop me until I die a lot. But well, go grab the monkey wrench. We've worked with worse strength before with the monkey wrench, and it's been perfectly fine. Now, whether or not I'll be able to still survive, depending on the custom mystery, is a whole different story. But immersion-wise, you can definitely do a lot with World of Horror. Again, like I said, you can basically just replace the game and make it something completely different visually. But gameplay-wise, you will still be locked mostly into doing things, and the meta... Well, actually, no. The meta can completely shift as well. I'm not going to say that much. But you still treat the game like World of Horror, but it can be World of Dogs instead, and you can literally go crazy, just someone has to do it. But anywho. So what do we get? 60%? Yeah, usually with most stat spreads you can do a 2 attack boost into a monkey wrench, as I miss, but doesn't matter. And we'll move on. So yeah, the modding scene can really save this game, but it really depends on how many mods people make of at least okay quality, which again, we do have a lot of, but it's kind of all over the place. It's not really, no one has really made, and when I say no one has really made, I mean only a few people have really made targeted collection of mods that all fit, like this right here we have, where it's pocket mysteries. But that's something I wanted to work on during the summer if I had more leeway in my schedule in real life, is to basically kind of make at least treat it like a DLC, but you get what I mean. Basically make a few characters, a few events and mysteries, and play with that. But it would be more in addition to the base game rather than a complete which again, you can completely replace everything. The game allows you to do that. Where you no longer have base events, you just have custom events, and you no longer have base enemies, and you have custom enemies. Now, after a certain point, yes, you will run into base enemies and events again, but for the most part, as my custom content Nuzlocke has shown, for the most part, every event can literally be replaced, and you will almost always run into a custom event or custom enemy. Especially, I don't know if anyone's tested it yet. You can test it with like a bunch of custom events. In fact, I might do that for a video or stream, but a very simple way to do it is just basically just copy the same event and enemy 999 times and put that in your directory, and then replace everything and see how likely, or if you ever run into a base event or enemy. That's the test. That's the use case, at least, that I would give to myself. But anywho, let's get into Rider here and move on with life. There's something else I want. Oh, I guess we can just go on a off-topic tangent. So yeah, I do have more than a few Monster Hunter World videos. I did play Iceborne as well a little bit. I don't think I ever completed it though, but I did complete base game World when it came out. As I get fungal growth because we're on Curious Birthmark, right? Yep. And so what happens there is that I have a lot of that, and then I talked about Behemoth as well. Behemoth was the big, in my opinion, Behemoth was a big hunter killer. People didn't stop playing, but people definitely had a hard time with Behemoth. Harder Behemoth. I think there was like an extreme version too. But I think we ended up being... I don't know if I ever soloed it. I definitely duoed it with someone that also plays it with me. and I used Sword and Shield primarily. And the person I played with was kind of flex, but we worked out a method. I know this because I was the person who was in charge of, and I could tank Behemoth as well with Sword and Shield. You can tank it with any weapon, theoretically speaking, because of the ways that the weapons could work in World of Monster Hunter, Monster Hunter World. And yeah, when I grabbed Behemoth's attention, it was really Sword and Shield. It was really easy, and we didn't have wire bugs in that game, so. It was when you knew what to do, you could do it along with other weapons, and then obviously you had the good guys doing bombing runs on Behemoth. But yeah, you can definitely duo it. And when we allowed people to, when we felt like we wanted to have other people play with us, we just left the room open and decided to invite. Or I think it was always open. I can't even remember the specifics of how Monster Hunter World worked, but we definitely eventually did complete that. If nothing else, with just the two of us, we could definitely push to lava. But the other one, what I actually want to say is I was also in charge of riding Behemoth and keeping it basically calm. So what I would do is that as Sword and Shield, like we worked out a strategy where I jump on, and you basically just have the Behemoth, you just stay on for as long as possible. So when you ride monsters in the game, there's a point when they get tired and you do your big attack to knock them down. You basically get to that point and I just sit there on top of Behemoth and don't do anything, and just let everyone else, or at least the person I played with, whack at Behemoth in places where we needed to. So, tried really hard, tried to love it. X convinced you, just so good, it just couldn't. Yeah, and again, I don't really, to each your own. I would really push for it, especially since a lot of people are playing World right now. But it definitely, I don't know, to me. Not to me, but to the people I know, they felt that the difference between World and Rise, there was a difference, and there are ups and downs here too. There are things to learn. Obviously, Wirebug was the big jump, but in terms of learning what to do and what to not do, being more kind of attentive to your actions, a lot of people I know really stick to World and like the experience there as well. But as I take 5 stamina damage. Yeah, I think we have to take this, by the way. 3 fungal growths? I don't know if I've ever seen that, but we will get out. We will be saved. But yeah, that was a lot of what I did in Behemoth. And then we pushed near the lava, not into the lava room not into Teostra Lair. But when we got to that one, I think that was the part where, especially when other people jumped into the quest, things started going downhill because I forgot what mechanic existed there. But there was a mechanic in Behemoth Extreme in the lava area, not Teostra Lair, that was kind of bad. So, aside from, Dragoon Jump memes where you Dragoon Jump to avoid Ecliptic Meteor, there was something there that made it a lot more difficult, on top of just being able to push quick enough, because I think the main issue was the time for that quest. But anywho, basically we got it done after a certain point. It was I think it was when you had to really, no, because you did the same with the previous things as well. Anywho, but first phase though, we definitely controlled hurricane or tornadoes, whatever. They look like tornadoes. I just called them tornadoes, but definitely a lot to do. People's biases usually from people played World think Rise is ugly, very, very low quality graphics wise. I mean, that just comes with it being primarily on Switch. Again, that's not anything against the Switch. That's just literally the hardware differences. It did eventually come to PC, but it was built for Switch, and therefore there's so much you can do, and it does do a lot for being on the Switch. As I eat it in the face there, in that check, but. Like, if you compare even it to the Steam Deck, let alone the PS5 and the black box. I don't know what it's actually called because I'm sorry, but Xbox. I'm just gonna say Xbox. Then I want to believe those are more powerful. If not, let me know. But anywho, I should have actually leveled up here. It's a bit late. Not like I really would have gotten anything from it. Never touch a Monster Hunter game on Switch. Well, we're talking about Rise.
So, but I know what you mean. It's yeah, it can be very oof. But I mean, people played it. That's where it came from. People are still playing Generations. People are still playing on 3DS as well. Funny enough, I think oh no, I'm not gonna say that much. Again, when I played Try on the Wii, was it just the Wii? That was a heck of an experience. Also, we have to do this and just eat the lump of flesh. Cursed signs. Well, at least there was another fungal growth, but I have to let him punch me in the face again. I could have used handcuffs. I never got the handcuffs, so that's on me. Why? How? Anywho, for fungal growths. Oh, you mean by that? Okay. But yeah, when it first came, when it did its worldwide release? Did it also come to PC, or did PC come later? I forgot. But anywho, well, that's not great. It's usually max reason decreasing is a non-issue, but in this case, it's an issue. But I mean, who could ever expect? This is the same problem I have at flashbacks. Although at least with well, fungal growth too, you can discard, but there's a lot of, I lose a lot of stamina, but I have to because I need some more reason than what I currently have. At least for the lighthouse, if I had the charisma and the light check, which I do not, but it would have been nice. So we can definitely rest a whole bunch here. We have Takshi-san, and I do have the old coin. I don't know why I'm complaining when I have the old coin, but you get what I mean? I got 4 fungal growths. How was I ever to suspect? This might actually be my first clear run, but let me just rest a whole bunch here. I don't have any of my stamina checks at 8, so I'm just going to do that. If we die, so be it. That's a mistake I made, unlike the Toshiaki incident. If you saw, you saw. If you didn't, then, well, hey. Actually, I can brace here, can't I? I can. Do you have anything else, by the way? No. So, we do our guaranteed monkey wrench, and we take about 3 dooms still. What do you mean you're giving me fungal growth? Give me another one now. Now just give me another one. No, give me another one. I dare you. I double dare you. Also, I think that was a lot more doom than I thought, but again, if I die, I mean, there's no stakes here. If I die here, whatever, but it's very funny, though. It's still funny, but hey. But yeah, other than that, I think that's the only highlight on top of just, you know, trying to solo things with sword and shield here and there. And yes, look, you can barely see the ears, but as we finally complete a run, yeah, there's been stuff. And again, those videos, if you ever watch them, they don't have commentary. That was just more me getting into the groove of uploading. And it took a year or two, but really this channel started back in about 2018, 2019, when I first did World of Horror videos. So that's when my channel really started to pick up. And then for some reason, well, I know the reason why, but I'm not going to say. I had to stop making videos and content, basically, for a few months, which is really not good. In fact, I already could monetize my channel back in the past, but because I stopped, for a different reason I stopped. Even before World of Horror, I was monetized, but then I lost monetization because I no longer made videos, which, fair enough, that's part of what is in YouTube's guidelines and whatnot. But I wouldn't have to be going through the trouble I had today if I had, you know, maybe my life would have been different if I had done things a lot earlier or been a more worked harder on it. But hey, we don't have multiverses in real life yet, so I'll never know. Run! Oh, that's right. I'm on another run, so I need a weapon. That's not the wooden bat. Sorry, game, for not specifying that. But on another note, I actually didn't get as far as I did in Stardew Valley than I thought, because I realized that I did not have the ability to get a Maki roll. So I definitely still did not complete the community center. I did look things up, and I accidentally kind of spoiled myself a little, but I mean, it is what it is. If someone ends up spoiling me, I'm not going to be too torn up about it. Just know, It's not a cool thing to do. I'm not gonna call you out on it or anything. I'm not gonna call anyone out on it, but boy, I only did it to myself as well. But as we look at the cradle and move on, yeah, I think I only moved up like several days because I was also taking care of other things as well. So yeah. Also, as it turns out, having no perk packs hurts a lot, but that's the route I've chosen. I could just give myself perk packs after a certain point, but hey, just uploaded a run of Rise. It's unlisted. Wanted to show a friend a run of Grand Golem. Not to spoil me, but yeah. And I mean in general, just spoilers on Stardew Valley. Even though, I mean, it's yes, the update is recent, but the game is technically very old. But at the same time, this update I think was the biggest from the past Point X updates. So, if not, let me know because I haven't played Stardew Valley since. And when I say play Stardew Valley, I mean really play Stardew Valley since 2016-ish. Somewhere around that point. But as I figure out what I do with this carpenter hammer, oh my goodness, I can't run from this guy, can I? I can. That's right, we're on the Thotu, so 4 strength is really painful. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So because it also, I guess, it's a very good gift wrap to the end of the game because I know that. Do I want to call him concerned? Basically, the developer wants to work on their next game. If it's not Chocolatier, then something else. But at the same time, I mean, I'm sure there's more than enough. I wouldn't say, again, I don't know the developer or anyone associated with the game, but there is some love for the game. So, I mean, it gets more than a lot of other games that have just as big of a player base or people who have bought the game. So, we can't, no one can, I don't think anyone can, well, you can say it, but I think you'd be wrong in saying that, you know, the developer did not put enough love in that game. They certainly did. We'll take Raven, actually. Yeah, and Ginger Island, I hear, is a heck of a thing, so I didn't look extensively into that. I just know what comes before and after, because I had to remind myself that I had to start doing Mr. Key things. Mr. Key? Mr. Chi? How do you pronounce that? Anywho. I call him Mr. Key. Let's wait out these ravens, by the way. I almost called them crows. Our bird's different. Don't clip that out of context. You can clip that out of context. Just know that it's clipped out of context. But ravens and crows. Oh my. The Yatagarasus, which is like an entirely different thing. But hey. Yeah, I'd like some allies. Give me that Doom. Now, that's not the greatest, but when I get more funds, hey. Yeah, trying to figure out how to pronounce names is a heck of a thing for me, based on, well, if you've seen enough of my videos and streams, you know how much trouble I may or may not have saying things in general, but as long as we be defiant in front of this raven, we can just, you know, move on. I swear it's not because I didn't want to fight a boss, which I could have taken tongue for and fought something guaranteed, but hey. Also, we're on a Thotu, so it would hurt a lot to fight anything at this point. Especially on our 4th mystery onward. We have cicadas and something else I didn't check. We're sitting healthy stamina and reason-wise, but hey. So yeah, just more Stardew. I didn't say it, but I wanted to say I might be putting out videos instead of... I know I can't do streams because I want to be very, very focused on something as I lose minus for all. But I might just put up little min-max video attempts on the first few days, which I've already attempted a few times, so I'm just going to say that just to be candid. But I was working on the, the Meadowlands farm? Is that the new one? The Meadowlands farm where you get bonus, well, you get 2 chickens, but you get bluegrass. But I was trying out the min-max guide, so if nothing else, it'll be the experience of someone who is more casual, trying out the min-max guide and seeing how well it goes there. And just kind of a little preview. It goes pretty much the same. I've only done like 2 days more reliably, but I wanted to try it again and again. Well, the first time I just failed to get the fiber. If you're following specifically the min-max guide by Zamiel, Z-A-M-I-E-L, I think, that exists online, then there are some points where it might be confusing for some people. But when you work it out, essentially you're trying to get the fiberglass rod, right? 1800 gold. On day 2. So yeah. And I failed to do that the first time. And then the second time, I think I did get it because I happened to get lucky artifact drops. But hey, as it turns out, digging up an artifact spot day 1 or day 2 if you're that late is kind of important because that adds a bit of gold that you can use to buy the fiberglass rod and subsequent bait. But hey, as we get into Bloom here, yeah, it's Qi. It's pronounced Chi in Chinese, so that's why I said Qi, just to be sure. But I once knew someone who was really particular about the pronunciation of some things. I mean, they weren't malicious with it. That's just part of how the people I knew were like. But anywho, never heard of the guide min-maxing at your own pace? Yeah. So this min-max guide that follows does Ginger Island in fall. So fall year 1, and that's because you do a lot of you rush to Skull Cavern, I think by the end of spring, if I recall correctly. I didn't follow it for myself. I just kind of looked at it just out of fun, and then I decided, hey, as a casual wannabe tryhard, let me try something. So yeah, you get to it says that it's fine to get to Ginger Island winter year 1, which is also fast, obviously, because you need to do. I think community center is the main requirement for unlocking Ginger Island. So yeah, you do everything before, and you rush things at the beginning of fall, and you get it as early as I think fall 13, 16-ish. There's some delay because of a reason, but you get what I mean. So yeah, you do a lot of Skull Cavern. It's a lot of Skull Cavern runs. It's a lot of rushing mines, but also a lot of fishing for gold during rainy days. So basically, you mine during days where it's clear, and you fish during days when it rains, because there are guaranteed. Again, this is not really spoiled. This is something that's before 1.6, 1.5 even, but there are certain days in the first year that are guaranteed to be certain things, like weather conditions. So it always rains. Spring day 3? Question mark? Which is why you rush fiberglass rod day 2, because that's the day 2 is when you can get a fishing rod. And then you pretty much level up fishing to like level 6 or something in the span of 3 days. Yeah, and again, it's fun is relative and subjective. I think we can agree on that, but whether it's fun for a lot of people, more than a few, probably not. But it's enough for people, especially when you're speedrunning or trying to make efficient use. Again, it's not a speedrun guide, it's more a min-max, but I'm sure it's there are facets of it that are definitely rooted in speedrunning. That's why the guide talks about things you can use. And for me, particularly, I use the UI suite. So if I do put up a video, you'll see the UI suite mod active, which I personally wouldn't put on myself if for no other reason than to challenge myself, but as I guess a 25% there. No, this must be a bug, but anywho. I don't actually remember, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, things like, may not be speedrun friendly, but pausing to make use of in-game time so that when you pause after cutting down a tree, you can grab the items when you're running towards where the tree is dropping. Animation canceling on fish catching so that you're not sitting there waiting, holding up the fish for about a moment, but every moment's time that passes in game time is valuable. So therefore, you want to do these things. You want to make use of these little tricks, and they do add up to time saves that can be substantial, especially if you're trying to squeeze out that last use on your garden or your farm, or garden, and you get things. Yeah, I'm using SMAPI. SM API. So, I mean, that's pretty much the bare minimum that you usually use for most mods, because it allows you to load mods, and I even used it before this. I forgot which. Oh no, I know what I was using extended. Is it called extended? Stardew Valley extended. There's something. It's called something. I'm sorry if I'm flubbing the name, but you get what I mean. Basically, you get some new things, new NPCs and stuff, and events. But yeah. So the short answer is yes. So let me mute for a moment as I go to my next ath run. I'll take a sip. Well, it's nice I have memory extract. Unfortunately, I'm on Eldritch Parasite. Second mystery, 8 strength, 8 knowledge, 8 charisma, 8 dexterity, and Takushi-san, so every single stat check. Because when you have all 4 stats on the Lighthouse, that's every single stat check you can get. But the most important thing to do is make sure I have History Club, because we are going to go fishing for Mind Drain, or Ghostly Spear, or both. Depends how fast I get one or the other. And hopefully I have access to the History Club. I do not, so we cross our fingers and pray. Well, I'm actually going to trade off Doom here, because I'm scared for my HP, for the moment. And yeah, that's pretty much me on the video game front. That's... yeah. Finishes a run like it's nothing to celebrate every time you get to the Lighthouse. Yeah. Listen, again, and I know we both have more than a good number of hours in World of Horror, but I mean, yeah, for me, it's just I am rushing through things. That's why I've died. I think my win rate this stream is like only at 20%, but that's just how I do. I mean, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Also, we can't run from this, so this is gonna be very painful. Doom wise, I hate it. I hate it here. You know, if I could use memory extract to deal damage, I would. But unfortunately, we just eat a bunch of Doom here. Oh, the pain! Make it stop. Okay. One of the unfortunate things... well, can you? No, I don't think custom enemies can capture. Anywho. Yeah, when you learn... well, the objective explanation is that when you learn more enough about the game, you can kind of speed through it. That being said, speedruns of this game are a different beast, let alone blindfolded runs. I know someone's attempted that. Also, we're eating a lot of stamina damage here, but we don't have access to anything, so rip. We just have to eat 12 stamina damage to the face. It's really not great, but I literally have no... you can't grab a weapon from the witch... well, you can grab spells from the witch tree, but... depending on the curse, oof. Not super calculating person, min-max is not specialty or interest. Yeah, and again, as I said, to each their own. You could be a casual gamer, that's perfectly fine. In fact, we have more than... if we're talking more closely to this platform or others, you have a lot more casual gamers on stream or making content that are, you know, if we're looking at success, experiencing a lot of success. So, but just as, you know, human beings, if I can talk more like a human being, to each their own. I would not want a world where everyone is min-maxing, or everyone's a speedrunner, or everyone is casual. You want people, and you, definitely as a developer, you value the different players that you have for the game. Now, which ones you listen to, or which ones you want to make content for, depends on the situation, but the variety of players that you have playing a game is still very important. Period. Anywho, History Club. That's right, we need a History Club. I don't care if my Doom rises through the roof. We need to avoid things like this happening, where I lose 12 stamina in the span of one encounter. We need to grab Mind Drain or Ghostly Spear. So, enjoy the atmosphere and challenge above all else. Treat it more as a role-playing experience, and yeah, pretty casual person. Yeah, so again, each of their own. Nothing much more to say. I think we both and everyone watching this either now or in the future should know the deal. Some people won't. That's just the nature, again, of variety. You get... there are bad apples. I mean, let's not deny that when we see it. But if the world could be filled with good apples, obviously everyone would hope for that. Now, everyone's definition of a good apple does vary as well, but as Shinsuke gets forgiven here, we move on. Again, all things being said, if nothing else, even though I do like the balance of these mysteries as well, don't let it be said that these mysteries were not handcrafted and made into something that's very, very enjoyable to sit through. So you literally, let's see, what did I just say? 19 mysteries? And if you stop to, you know, basically narrate and immerse yourself in the mysteries, each of these mysteries is like 20 to 30 minutes long. So... possibly 40 minutes. And even then, even though they're endings, there's only one ending for all of them. That doesn't change the fact that the journey can be different. Mainly in the way of, well, sometimes you can avoid a boss or you can fight a boss. So those are also different harrowing experiences. On top of just, you know, doing things to you in the middle. Basically, the journey is definitely worth more than the end. Also, I accidentally calculated that wrong, but hey, math. Math no good head right now. Oh, kami-sama onegai. Anywho. Don't hurt me, robots. I was trying to use it as... Oh, hey, anywho. Let's see here. I guess speaking on that, yeah, I do try to keep in tune with what's been coming out, but when a lot of what's coming out has been basically been made the adaptation of just basically light novels in general, or visual novels in some cases. I mean, it's easier for me to stay in tune when a lot of things that are being made for usually anime, but also manga, have come from light novels. But anywho, the parasite stirs, and we move on. Have I read any of the Junji Ito manga? Actually, funny enough, no, because it's also hard. That's a lament that I have, following from, I think, a more recent stream, where, did I say shoujo? I meant to say otome games, but things like that have been made less available for me personally. And again, some people don't have trouble, but on top of me just, you know, I would have to dedicate resources to it, time and money, bare minimum. It's also looking for mediums in which I can, you know, purchase manga or anime and stuff. You know, I might want to turn my camera on and show this. Actually, I might, because I think my USB camera is working quite funkily, so I'd have to use the inbuilt camera that I have here to show. But I can also say very readily that I have bought things. Like I said, I purchased a physical copy of Idolmaster 1 for All for the PS3. I purchased, I think, at least a few visual novels from... Can I say it? I think I can just say it. I mean, I'm playing World of Horror. So I have a copy of School Days. I think it's a very specific... It came with a mouse pad, I'll say that much. But I got that from, I think it was Jast USA again. And if I mention anything and it's actually, you know, I bought something from a company or source that is very nefarious, I really didn't know. But I think I got my copy from Jast USA. No, there's something else I got. But if you remember that, that's where I think I remember buying. I think it was like a box, kind of. It was like what's the word? It looked like a Game Board box, but you stand it up. But it's that thing package of School Days. It's kind of like mishmashed up a little bit here and there because, well, yeah, I have been. It's been around, so I have been moving things here and there, and now it's been squished. And some people around me don't know the value of it, on top of other things. But yeah, that's that. The quick question is no, in case I haven't already addressed. I think I did. No, I haven't read any manga, but I definitely try to consume when I can, because if for no other reason, it's for some personal fulfillment in terms of I like anime and manga, and I want to read more anime and manga. Now, granted, a lot of them are more than a few of them are in Japanese, but. And then I also, that's right, I have a Blu-ray copy of the whole series of Clannad, because Clannad. Basically, I'm that person. So I've watched those things and or read those things, but mostly watched. Oddly enough, I never was able to go through the visual novel because, again, it's kind of hard to grab things here and there. But I definitely got the Blu-ray, which I think the anime adaptation of Clannad does a good job. Now, do we wish every visual novel or every anime or manga adaptation goes through all the beats of the visual novel and whatnot? Sure, but as I mind drain away one of these nurses, I need to actually fight this other one because you cannot target enemy bees for skills. I think I'm gonna even throw the steak knife here, because at least that hits enemy B. And I get another steak knife, but I forgot about that. But anyway, at least I have another weapon. And there are other things. I also have the full, I think, DVD of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I forgot where I got. Again, I'm forgetting where I'm getting some of these from. I'm basically listing off things I've gotten. But anywho, but Uzumaki and Tomiya, they've done release for about $20 each, which is pretty reasonable. Oh, are they? I'll think about it to look at things. It would be a good thing, but it's definitely low priority for me because again, I have to be very, very specific. Again, I'll take charity where charity is given, but I won't keep begging for things. I just have to stick with what I've got. Also, yeah, we should survive this tongue. Throwing items and using using spells at enemy B. I think there's one other thing that doesn't happen that should happen, but anywho, while we're here, we mind drain. Am I even gonna survive? We're gonna find out. The lighthouse, anyway. We might actually. I need to throw. I mean, I can throw this meat cleaver. I would actually like to equip this meat cleaver, but fine. We should be perfectly fine here. Oops, I cleared my launch sequence. And we move on. I think the one of the can I even talk about this though? I'm deciding whether or not. Well, I'm trying to think because I'm thinking of other people who, and I'm sure it's okay because it's within reason, human reason, I think. And it's not like I'm really showing it off either. But second mystery, strength, knowledge, charisma, dexterity. Oh, that's right, every single stat check. So, we have a doom check, but we should be perfectly fine here. So, what is the Nuzlocke part of this challenge? Is there something on stream that should, or on my title that should not be there? Well, what does the Nuzlocke part of this challenge mean? I'm not sure. I mean, if we're talking about this stream, kind of what I planned for it, I plan to actually try to survive every mystery with this character, but that doesn't seem to be happening. Again, this is more a fun stream anyway, so hey. Although at this point I should have made note, but I wasn't expecting to survive after I failed that many times early this stream, but hey. We'll get through it. So, we'll just keep moving on. This is more like a chill stream at this point, but at the same time, I am just playing this character just to have fun. So you are seeing something different that I don't. I mean, I'm the one who made the character, so it should definitely be different. But if nothing else, we're at least gonna try to do everything. So Zektast is coming up shortly, but we'll do a Scars Goizo run first, or Goizo Scars, whatever you like to say first. But if you want to word your question differently so I can understand because I'm failing to understand, then please let me know. Otherwise, if I've addressed it, then hopefully it's fine. Takshi-san, 8 knowledge, 8 dexterity, light, 8 strength, 8 second mystery check, and I'm gonna both love and hate myself after this stream because I'm gonna eat bulldog noodles, noodles, because they're not called ramen. Yeah, not much else to say. I usually do so because, while I can tolerate it and I do like the taste, the rest of me does not agree. So, and especially for streaming and or recording videos, but definitely streaming, it's not as great. So, as we go into silhouettes, on top of just concentrating on Stardew Valley after this stream, but let's police station as well, and I want a weapon. Even though we're on Scars, we need to deal at least a bare minimum 6 damage per turn. Even if I have to eat an attack in the face. I'll visit the History Club once, by the way. And, I mean, maybe reason is a precious resource on base events, but we're not dealing with completely base events, because custom mysteries can force events on you. That as part of, well, would be expected of a mystery. And not the wooden bat, by the way. So, I guess Carpenter Hammer again, because we did not randomize our item stats to see if anything better could come out. Again, commentating on or giving live commentary on what I'm doing to at least get you into my mind. But if I say something that's interesting or is well done for advice or whatnot, then you feel free. Feel free. But as we move on, so I didn't equip this Carpenter Hammer. That could have been very bad. Regardless, though, even though I have a Carpenter Hammer, which is an okay weapon, I really don't want to fight these silhouettes here. That would not be a smart decision, in my opinion. If no, for no other reason, they do all damage, but I think they're also tanky. Do I want to find out? I am on scars. That's the whole reason you do well, you can deal with stars. Also, nice luck check, by the way. 8 luck, roll 10. No modifiers needed. No, I'm going to fight. Yeah, 22 HP, minus 2 all, but minus 1 all because of scars. Which isn't completely bad, but because I can't do prep attack, I'm feeling a bit anxious. But you know what? If I eat minus 4 all, for a boss that's still survivable, but as we try to avoid joining these things, we will do this and move on. Don't worry, the bunny will hide with you, Kyrie. I just assume when I see a silhouette, it's Kyrie. But anywho, we get time skip, 30% Doom moving into our second mystery. That's quite bad, but 1, we needed a weapon, and 2, we needed to also save on Doom if possible. Which I forgot if the right choice before that boss, if you run into it, increases Doom, but hey. My neck! And we'll listen in and move on with life. So yeah, not much else planned. In fact, I finally started implementing things I wanted to make for my games, but hopefully I really should just be... I keep making decisions that end up lengthening the time of development for the games I'm working on, and I really should just work on putting something out, even if it's just a prototype, even though the games themselves are technically prototypes as well. But again, they won't be anything high quality, and one of them will definitely be free. I mean, you're free to donate, but just know, again, as I said before, when you put... this will be on itch.io. I do have an itch.io page. Don't play any of the games there. They're completely horrible. Nice 11 roll on dexterity, by the way. At least they only got tiny cuts, but hey. But yeah, on itch.io, if you enable donations, technically, for anyone wondering, that does count as income. So depending on your place of residence, you do have to report that if you break thresholds, basically. And for the US, if you break, I think there's some. I think it's like a couple $100. It counts as self-employment. But at that point, usually you would get, well, there's a threshold that itch.io waits for before they send you again, for the United States of America, a 1099, right? But again, that's what this all stems from, allowing donation on itch.io, because theoretically speaking, you are granting giving someone something for the money that they're giving to you, and the donation is not completely a donation. I'm sure you can argue and whatnot. Maybe I'm wrong, but if I am wrong, let me know. I don't want that experience right now. I'll take Fatal Flora. But yeah, just kind of giving my 2 cents about it. At least it can be considered that way. But anywho. Just to play it safe, though, just consider donations on itch.io are affected by income. But it does count it as income. At the same time, I think I would like to I think I said once that, you know, memberships and super chats on this channel do directly support me, but at the same time, if you know about it, there is a threshold that I have to wait for before I can withdraw. That's just how it works. This is freely available information on, well, the support Google site, which YouTube is tied to. So I think it's okay to say it, but if not, then just please, I didn't know. But yeah, there's a threshold. So there are even more direct ways to support me. But I think those would be mainly, I think, Streamlab and or other locations. I can't remember exactly, but we'll take reason to move on. Enough about that. Enough about real life stuff. I mean, not much is happening on screen aside from me leveling up and moving to the next custom mystery. But we finally get to, I don't think I've done you yet. YEW tree. Also gonna focus on things that I'm also trying. I mean, I shouldn't spend so much time on it, but I do play gotchas, basically. I do play gotchas in the meanwhile. Well, by play, I mean kind of set them. No, I'm not AFKing on anything, but in a way, I am also AFKing because I usually value or play gacha games that allow me to, actually work on things while the game plays. And for the most part, most gacha games, as I peaked the audio mic for some reason. This is also a plant enemy. I guess I might as well. You got a broken nose for this? Thank you, Fatal Flora. Gosh dang it. Can I brace into anything? I can't attack. What's my accuracy like? Very terrible. But anywho, yeah, while you, at this point, someone might be wondering, well, Jordan, didn't you say you don't have a lot of resources? That's why I go completely free to play on gacha games. So, yeah, I think the only time I've actually used money was far in the past, and it wasn't even a lot. It was for Kantai collection specifically, to increase the number of, well, ships, but essentially characters that I could hold on to. But essentially that money is just, I mean, it did serve its worth, because I did grab like Warspite and Iowa in that game. But yeah, that was the only time I spent money on a relative, it's not even a gacha game because they're not pulling for anything, but you get what I mean. A game that has monetization in it with microtransactions. So at this point, though, yeah, yes, I do play gachas. No, I do not spend any money at all. And if I were to spend money on a gacha, it would be just for something that does not affect gameplay. Because at this point, I've kind of committed to the complete free-to-play gameplay aspect. But if it's a skin that serves no in-game purpose, or no gameplay purposes, or doesn't affect gameplay, then sure. But I'd really have to like the game, and two, I would really need the resources for it. Because, yeah. Anywho, because knowing that, and with that said, I will kind of preview. It's not a gacha. Gachas are like, yeah. So obviously, yeah, I do have a trying to play. So I do play Star Rail. I kind of stayed away from it, kind of, because it does demand a bit more of your time than the other 2-3 games I'm playing. I think 2 games really. I used to play Arknights. I had to drop that too. And yeah. I don't know, I could talk about it, yeah, because I have them on this channel. Well, I can talk about one of them. I play E7, so I play Epic 7, and I'm completely free to play. I played close to when the game released, but not close enough as I die here to the elevator, because I have 8 luck. What kind of luck check are you checking, game? I could probably look it up, but anywho, as I die here, and move on to Zektas for the fun times, I'll close out the topic for the moment by saying, yes, I do play gachas. Yes, I do. Some of them are on this channel, and I do my best as a complete free-to-play. I'm not great at all, and I'm not really someone who looks to play PvP for PvP, so if I play for PvP, I'd have to definitely dedicate more time, so that's definitely an aspect of it. But in general, I avoid PvP. As I get to Zektas, Fatalist, character-exclusive, random item, Bunneh. I think Fatalist is the one that does nearly nothing, if you're working with custom mysteries, because, well, you can see the mysteries. 8 knowledge, 8 strength, 8 dexterity, Takshisan, second encounter, and light. I'm not promoted or sponsored or anything, but I will say that I guess E7 has become a bit more relevant because it's doing its Overlord collaboration with Ainz, Albedo, and Shaltir, so people might be jumping back in just for them. I mean, people are definitely jumping in or back in for them. But let me see here. Let's actually start with Madness. Stop gachas pretty much now, forever. Read a lot of info about the gacha system, how it's made, the implications too predatory. Fell into Entrapment Tower fantasy by pouring money in and regret a lot. Okay, yeah. Again, it's perfectly understandable. Not that I'm defending it. On the business side of things, it's been proven that gachas that come out that definitely don't do anything for gameplay, because you are on some restriction. I mean, it depends on the country too. I'm not saying it as fact, but some countries do look at monetization and treat them differently. But monetization for gameplay purposes or gameplay advantages is something that is incentivized for businesses. Otherwise, you go negative, basically. Which is why I think certainly recently a card game went out of, well, basically stopped because it did not make enough money. Even though it was very popular and it was very healthy for free-to-plays, it just turns out that you need reasons to whale and whatnot. And you can do that with minimum monetization. It's definitely possible, but it's on a very specific case-by-case basis, and I don't know all of the gacha games in and out. There are obviously a ton of them, but hey. And then that includes, if I didn't already say it, yes, obviously whales exist, but that doesn't mean you can have a, funny enough, from what I've been witnessing and what I've been told, there are games where you can play toe-to-toe with whales, but they're not frequently, and obviously whales still have a they do have an advantage, let's say it that much. And I won't even say it's unfair, because, I mean, the whales have their advantage is the power of money. So, I mean, that's them. Now, again, don't harass anyone, whether you are a whale or not, but I know there's discourse about that, so... Also, this Monkey Wrench is doing 3 damage on Sever because of Monkey Wrench, but Knowledge 3, but I have no choice but to fight this here, so... We take about 9 stamina damage. Literally ask your ID if you want to play that game. Again, to each country their own, and obviously there have been recent laws that came out that kind of, not controlled, but they've kind of made companies have to change the way they do certain things here and there, or just outright ban them, depending, but it really depends, because once you get into the realm of basically gambling, essentially gachas are, let's just say it outright, they do have definitely aspects of gambling in them, just by way of gacha systems and the presentation of how those gacha systems work, but they are controlled legally and are followed legally in ways that they can still exist. Now, should they or should they not is a topic that I'm not prepared to talk about. And if I feel like I did talk about, I definitely wouldn't know as much. I mean, I've already said more than I probably am not entitled to. I was about to say entitled. More than I would know about, but again, this is the opinion of someone who doesn't know, so take that as you will, and if that information presents anything, whether I'm completely wrong or there's something you can think about there, as I pretty much died to this tongue because it's doing a lot of damage. Yeah. Yeah, in EU it's not controlled and heavily taken, and it's not controlled and it's heavily taken advantage of. Yeah, if that's true, oof, but I think I can get out here. Please tell me I can get out. Because it's not sever damage, so I should be doing a true 15 damage here. Which I do. And let's level up before the end, but it's not like it matters because I only have generic perks. I really should add a perk pack during this stream, but hey. Well, I lost Bats, so now I'm really feeling it. In the bad way. So what did we just lose? We lost about 12 HP. Just from one click. Or the results of one click. But as we get into seashells, let me actually have the police patrol the seaside. And we'll move on. But yeah, gachas are a realm where they do have their worth, and obviously people have done their part in various ways. But whether it's good or bad, I mean, I don't think I'm at liberty to say or have any authority to talk about them. I'll leave that to the people who actually know what they're talking about. But as I get into this, I don't think there's a way out for me here, so I actually have to run. And then we have to rest. I should actually rest. I don't know why I'm not resting here. I have more than enough doom to do so. Also, no, wait, that's right. It's because we're on Zektas that we don't want to rest too much. But maybe, just maybe. Well, I still need to heal HP. I've changed the notes here just in case the robots, but yes, I've seen that clip of Smash. But anywho, that was a weird kazoo noise I just made. My body. But yeah, as we keep moving on, so yeah, I haven't actually played any of the Xenoblades. I've seen someone else play a lot of the Xenoblades. I played Xenosaga as well, the very first one, but I didn't complete it. Someone else around me completed it, so. Anywho. Playing Xeno 1 makes it... forgot, there was a quote I was going to say. I just lost the quote. Now I lost a bit. Aside from make a girl cry, that's not gonna fly. That's right, I lost Bath. Salt Shrine, Bloom, Silhouettes, Raven. Well, I guess we're doing Shrine. I'll show you a thing or two, or in his case, 3. But anywho. I completely have not been paying attention to where luck checks are, but if we can avoid dying to Zektas here, that would be great. Although I do need both of these perks, but hopefully I'll come back. The good news is that, oddly enough, because I have no perk packs, it's easier for me to deal with Zektas by nature of picking general perks. Now, obviously, if I had something like on my own to increase all of my stats, that would help. But at that point, it's situational, because if you ever pick up an ally, and you could be forced an ally by the nature of the hospital event, and succeeding that charisma check, then yeah, you lose. Well, I mean, until you let go of that ally, but you get what I mean. If your life hinges on your stats remaining at 1, and you pick up an ally with on your own, then yeah, you pretty much end up dying. But at the same time, we're about to die to 84% doom, so I do need to level up one more time somehow, while also not dying to stamina or reason loss. Or I could just complete the run under 84% doom. But as we get fetid fumes, yeah, we definitely just have to live with what we've got. Fetid fumes, no bath, pain, Raven. And we'll move on. Well, now. We have to run from this. We cannot survive unless we get really lucky dodging, but this is not a dodge channel. If you want someone to do dodge gameplay, you can... There are other people who would probably take that, not me. But anywho, we can't have doom increasing, so we are trying to... Well, never mind. Here's the reason loss, and I don't think I have anything else to help me, so... I thought that was 2 reason. I thought I was dead. Anywho. Into the Sniffling Gardener. God what? No, I lost it. I don't know what... I don't know what was being mentioned. The reference flew over my head. If it was a reference, I'm sorry. But we can Desperate Prep Strong after eating it in the face here. But we are trying to survive the mystery. So we're just going to keep moving on and hope that nothing bad happens. Nothing bad happens. I might be able to level up. I might be able to level up if the mystery ends soon. I will be able to level up. Luck! No! +1 modifier, but I rolled an 8 anyway, so... Who is increasing their luck in Zektast? Mentioned something about dodging, but... Oh, yeah. Listen, I go through too many topics, and I know I talk fast and talk often and don't stop talking at times, but I still forget what I'm talking about at times. But yes, I did mention that, so... Yeah, dodging doesn't exist for me. I mean, it does exist, but when I try it, it has worked out a few times. But as we do this Azal run, which might be the last one with Curious Birthmark, we'll see what happens. If nothing else, you've seen what happens with the character who has low stats and pretty much no advantages. Yeah, no advantages. No perk packs, not even any bonuses, no funds. I could have set funds. I could have given myself Doom. Nope, none of that. But I feel like I've done, I've had more than enough chances to survive, as we have 8 Dexterity, 8 Charisma, second encounter, Light, Takshisan, and maybe 8 Knowledge. And we'll see what happens. You know what, funny enough, we're going to disable a School Nurse. We'll set a Legal Den, and nope, we set Hard... Nope, we set a Legal Den. Why not? Fun. And we'll move on. Well, we are on Azal, so if I decide to grab allies in a Legal Den, that could go badly. If I decide to grab too many items, that could go badly. If I get the experience rule, it immediately goes badly. But for anyone wondering how you never trigger Azal, as I finally get Diver, I think. And we do have a Nails in Mystery, because we finally didn't do a thing. Then, yeah, you just... if you get the experience rule, you're going to trigger Azal, so you immediately fail that challenge. And then after that, pretty much every other Azal rule is avoidable, but the degrees to which they're avoidable depends on your situation and the rule itself. Like, for example, curses. You have a few ways to get rid of curses now, but you have to be playing as Aika, or maybe you have to grab the stuffed doll from Recluse. If you play on only custom mysteries, you never get to do that, unless... Anywho. So let's visit the Illegal Den to grab theoretically a weapon, but what I was really looking forward to was playing with the Cursed Cartridge, even though that might end badly for me. So this bunny is going to punch and kick its way... It's going to punch and kick its way forward. I was going to say something sophisticated. My mind blanked. But as we fight this koi woman, can I actually improvise into a punch? I can. Or a kick. It's all in the mind. But I don't think I don't think I'm gonna like what I'm gonna find. So, yeah, that's not great. But funny enough, I think I might be doing more damage here. Please don't pick up another branch. Gosh, dang it. Now I have to throw this branch. But I think with this, I can defeat this encounter. I can. So, a different way of fighting, and I actually just thought of this now as I was doing it. But yeah, that's basically how you'd fight with improvise. You treat it as if you deal damage that turn. And it's really only mainly viable with Curse Cartridge or Improvise, obviously, but I don't have that perk, so yeah. Because you get to do at least 5 damage per turn on top of an attack that you can fit in. But you do have to eat you do have to eat one attack first. The Switchblade is a really nice fast weapon. It does 3 damage, but I can see how it can become really, really cool. Now that being said, was that double penalty damage? I think, well, anywho. I'll do my best. Please! Oh, the pain! I should actually set the police station to something. In this case, the mansion, for now, but... Are there mod packs for World of Horror yet? This is theoretically a mod pack, but it depends on what your definition of a mod pack is. If you mean a complete installation, no. If you're talking about drag and drop somewhere, then theoretically this mod pack, I think there's a big mod pack that has been compiled and or made that adds events and enemies. But if you add in these mysteries, then theoretically we already have a big mod. If you're talking about, if your definition is, yeah, just a drag and drop full pack with the addition of these pocket mysteries, then yes, you can. Haspen has made before he or she or they made the pocket mysteries before 1.0, they had I need to think here for a moment on what I'm going to do. They had a mod pack that had basically enough events and enemies to replace every event and enemy in World of Horror. In fact, I did that. My whole Nuzlocke was, I think someone mentioned it too, or you mentioned it too, is that I did a whole Nuzlocke based on that. I just didn't have custom mysteries, but now I have custom mysteries. So theoretically speaking, you can just complete everything. Otherwise, in a very, very loose way, you also have mod packs in the way of downloading everything in either the World of Horror server or elsewhere, or basically grabbing a bunch of custom content and just throwing them in the game. So, not exactly events, but definitely there are more than enough characters, more than enough mysteries. There are more than a handful of enemies, but events-wise, you would probably just use Haspen's big mod pack. I forgot what it's called. If Haspen is around somewhere or comments, then they'll let you know, but as I complete that topic and move on, well, it's nice I get this. Do I survive like this, though? We'll see. Ah, that's right. I'm on Curious Birthmark. But yeah, that's the different ways to interpret and different ways of answering. I want to say yes, but it's a very loose yes in the way of you having to go out and at least getting it. But if you're looking to make one yourself in a way, like a complete, it's just custom content, you would have to download a lot. Don't download a lot of files. At least off the World of Horror server. But anywho, I'm in a bit of a pickle here because Devil-a-ho pickle, not Devil-a-ho pickle, but so I don't deal enough damage. I can trade off 2 Reason to survive another turn, but after that I need to dodge. Someone used to, or no, it wasn't a mod loader. Someone had a thing, a little UI slash executable that helps you make custom content, but we don't actually have a mod loader. So that's why a lot of people are also waiting for Steam Workshop. That way, at least on Steam, you could immediately, well, theoretically, I don't know how the logistics of that work, but I'm sure you can make, again, I've talked about it before, but I'm sure you can make it work. But anywho, rolling on pretty much a coin flip. We'll see. I'll do a salty run back if I miss, otherwise we'll move on. But yeah, the short answer is no. Even though that wasn't a question, unfortunately we don't have a mod loader yet. People are hoping that the Steam Workshop will work that way, but that means it would have to be able to find its way. I'm sure, again, I've never worked with the Steam Workshop, obviously. So I don't know. I'm sure, though, that there's a way that when you work from the Steam Workshop, it goes directly into the right place where it needs to go. As I I rolled a 12 on Dexterity. I could have, even if I drank my energy drink, didn't mean anything. But you get what I mean. On Steam Workshop, if everything goes where it's supposed to go, cool. If not, pain. Because it would also have to depend on the modder who uploads things to the Steam Workshop, because different directories exist for where custom characters, events, linked events, and mysteries need to go, I can see that becoming a problem in terms of actually downloading things. Because the bare minimum, basically what Steam Workshop would be essentially, it would be more streamlined into one place where people can upload things, but it would not solve the problem of, if it does not get implemented correctly, of people having to install it themselves, which again is one step removed, and it's a small one, but still that small step can mean people either wanting to deal with mods or not. So I just realized I enabled sublocations that grant me no weapons, but maybe we get lucky. So as we get into cicadas here, each item in inventory, we can dodge that, but my question is whether or not we get anything. Ghostly Spear is a start, but we need something else. Cursed Doll is also a start. But after that, yeah, not really much else, because I do not have any locations to grant me a weapon, I think. So we have to work with the... I don't think the History Club has any slot A/weapon item, right? So anywho. But yeah, as I get near the end of the stream, we can talk about the state of custom content in this game. Again, would like more. I would like to keep making more, but I have to focus on my game dev more, for better or worse. And whether or not those games... I mean, I'm in charge of it, so even if I release a game that I'm developing out and it's kind of like not as interesting or not as fun, at least I can keep working on it to make it fun. Or, yeah, work on it, add things, subtract things, take away things, change things, and move on. But for the most part, obviously you want to aim for a satisfactory experience. A satisfactory experience? Anywho, a satisfactory experience. I'm just going to say it like that. But at the same time, if it flops, again, especially if it's a non-commercial or a product or a game for in terms of development that you can make, if it's easy to update it, like it is on itch.io, then it's easy. But say if I release something for consoles, it definitely need to be a lot harder because I have to go through... you have to jump through a bit more hoops that do take time, because there is some waiting involved, and it makes sense, right? When it's on console, as I took the Misery Parasite Doom, whoops, but yeah, like your game needs to have some quality in it. Even though, yes, when we look on Steam or other game fronts or storefronts, there are some games that people might be questioning why it's even there. But hey. So we have to Curse Doll here, which I don't mind. This is one of the few encounters you can Curse Doll a bit more comfortably in. But anywho. Yeah, still for want of a weapon. We do have to store the handcuffs and the Curse Doll at some point, and I think we also have to get rid of funds at some point as well, but we should be perfectly fine here. Yeah. Again, and there's only some, I mean, at that point, it is up to both people reporting it if they want to report it or otherwise. That's why I have 4 damage kicks. Why do I have 4 damage kicks? Why do I have 4 damage kicks? Anywho. Yeah, there are things that don't get caught, and part of it is because, I mean, nothing abnormally strange has actually happened in terms of, like, obviously, if $1 million suddenly gets deposited into someone's bank account from a sale of one game, that might trip someone's eyes, and, questions might be asked. But for the most part, things go under the radar because there's just so many games, just like there's so many videos or channels on YouTube that, I don't think should be on the site, but hey. Also, can I please hit these kicks, by the way? That would be really nice. I still have to brace again. I should have actually run away by now. I should have known better. I'm still missing 80% kicks. I guess this is a good time to stop the stream if I'm going to die here, but for giggles, I'm going to do this and see. Kicks are absolute garbage. We're going to close out on that. But, yeah, without further ado, yeah, we can complete the talk. Yeah, so there are things that are happening, and, you know, I might be included in that if people start saying, oh, Jordan, you made a game, and it's absolute garbage, and I'm like, oh, please, I'm trying to work on it, but I usually, I mean, until I do, I hope I never do, but stooping to a level like that, I mean, again, the developers themselves should know when they're doing something wrong. Sometimes you get people who don't know, and, you know, there is a level of, I don't want to say incompetence, but you get what I mean. There is a level of responsibility that you have to take in where I don't know is no longer a valid excuse. But anywho, some deja vu from... Yeah, oh my goodness. Well, either way, I have 4 damage kicks too, so I was really in a good spot to use kicks, but low stakes didn't matter. I would like to go for 2 hours, but I think this would I'm gonna go crazy if I go anymore. Not that I couldn't, but definitely have things to work on. So yeah, without further ado, I might put up Stardew Valley videos for at least for this week. If I don't, I don't. Period. But otherwise, more Harbinger horror. I might do something else in place of it to alternate between Harbinger horror, but we'll see if I get those working. Again, at this point, me making promises and stuff on this channel, I mean, I would like to get back to... I mean, this month is special. So until the end of April, this month might be a little bit wonky, but after April, I want to get back onto Slay the Spire, especially since Slay the Spire 2 was announced. Let me repeat that, if in case that people aren't staying in tune with it. Slay the Spire 2 was announced. I feel like that would have been a big enough announcement for people to know, but at the same time, the state of video games right now is, I mean, we have a lot on our plate. People are still finishing up games from the, like, people are still playing Infinite Wealth, and then Reload came out, and then Rebirth still exists, and then Dragon's Dogma 2. So most, I think 95% of the gamers have at least one of those games on their plate somewhere or have finished it. And if you're playing at least more than that, then oof. But yeah, thanks for the stream. Take care. Send a quick tip on... okay, yeah, I'll look at that. And yeah, without further ado, I won't hold you up anymore. So if you had fun, for anyone watching now who's not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. That would really help me out. I'd really be thankful. But otherwise, yeah, you do what you... Memberships are open if you want to work that way, if you want to work on that. But otherwise, I will be doing things myself. So if you want to hold on that money for any commercial projects I make, I mean... This is me. I might as well sell out at the end here to myself. But yeah, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I will see you when I see you. Bye.